NFL analyst Keyshawn Johnson back with us, and we are heading to Dallas, where Dak Prescott's contract is at the center of attention. Dak is headed into the final year of his rookie deal, and in a recent interview with USA Today Sports, he explained why he won't be offering the Cowboys a hometown discount on his new contract and why he believes the team should pay up when they work out new deals with Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper. Keyshawn, should the Cowboys pay Dak or let him walk?
No, they got to pay him. Why would they let him walk? He's done everything that he's supposed to do as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He's led his team to division titles. He's gotten them into the playoffs. I don't even know what the argument is. I think a lot of people look at where he was drafted at in late rounds, and then they look at the lack of production when Ezekiel Elliott wasn't in the lineup, but they forget that, hey, everybody works together in these situations. You look at what Carson Wentz got taken care of with the Philadelphia Eagles. Jared Goff will at some point be taken care of with the Rams, and they all came out at the same time, and their numbers statistically are pretty much on par. Dak Prescott runs the football better than they do. He scores touchdowns. He extends plays with his feet. What other quarterback in the National Football League will you be able to get for the type of money that you can get Dak Prescott for? Why even have that conversation about letting him walk?
Well, I would want to keep Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott reminds me of two guys in the past that, and everyone says Russell Wilson, but also Tom Brady in the sense that, not stylistically, but in the sense that Dak has basically been a game manager who's big on third down and plays well under pressure and is a good leader in the clubhouse. Like, that is a really valuable thing. Game management is not an insult, especially if you're big on third down and you play in the playoffs. He almost brought him all the way back on Aaron Rodgers. Only a miracle throw from Aaron Rodgers when he only until Patrick Mahomes came along was Aaron Rodgers capable of making even that play, stopped the Cowboys from advancing because Dak never gave up hope. So I love me some Dak Prescott. And eventually he may be a truly great quarterback. But that time is not yet. And if you're going to tell me I got to pay him $36 million a year, I ain't doing it. I like him better than Goff. Goff has more talent, but I'd rather have Dak as my quarterback. He has more stuff. Carson Wentz is another story. I'm going to put Carson Wentz aside. I think he's better than both those guys. But, injuries notwithstanding. But Dak, I like a lot. I think eventually he'll be elite. But if you overpay him now, Key, you won't put a good enough team around him to win. He's not there yet.
But I love that argument when people start to say, you pay the quarterback, you can't surround other people around him. The New England Patriots continue to surround Tom Brady with talent.
He takes discounts.
He's not taking a discount. Everybody go, oh, he's taking a discount. Well, he's being paid the type of money that he wants. They're not using that money on other players that they supposedly Patriots paid that has helped Tom Brady out from an offensive standpoint. They're not giving big money to offensive players.
But Key, there's a certain amount of money you can spend on your roster. The Patriots spend that money. So to your point earlier, it's the ultimate team sport. There's so many different places you need to spend the money that Belichick does a great job of that because Brady works with them.
It's all about the front office and the talent evaluating. If you can evaluate talent, you can find guys that have value that can help your team and make the 53-man roster. The argument is always if you pay the quarterback, it's going to ruin everybody else. Just look at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm like, wait a minute. Seattle was getting old when they decided to pay Russell Wilson. They didn't want to pay those older guys.
But that's not where Russell was then.
Yeah, but look at this, man. You've got to pay this man.
And
as you talked about, Key, you said evaluate talent. That's the key word. Dak Prescott is a winner. He's a leader in the locker room. And there's a value on a guy who's going to make the correct play. He's not going to chuck up an interception downfield on third down or second down trying to get numbers. He's going to take the dump off. He's going to make the play go through his reads in the offense. Here's the reality. You got guys, and I don't want to call out other contracts, but you got $100 million players. Stafford, Carr, Cousins, Garoppolo.
How's that work out?
Hey, look, Ryan, you said you didn't want to.
How do you not pay a winner?
Wait, you said you didn't want to call out names. You just rattled off a bunch of dudes.
Half the NFL.
I'm glad they got their money.
In all honesty, when you look at it, Dak Prescott deserves to be paid. Okay, pecking order goes for me. Taking care of my quarterback, taking care of the wide receiver, not necessarily worried about Ezekiel Elliott right now, taking care of Smith, the linebacker. Those are the kind of three guys for me that they need to address to move on to the next level. But when you look statistically at Dak Prescott, what is it that hasn't done that those other guys that we mentioned have done? I mean,
but a lot of those
wins.
guys that we mentioned those are loser contracts. Like they shouldn't have paid Stafford. They shouldn't have paid Cousins. Who else did you mention?
Who else are you going to pay?
But the point is, Garoppolo is maybe a different story because off the Patriots, people get enamored with him.
Why is he a different story? The guy took 4 snaps.
Because once they have the Belichick seal of approval, they have more value around the league, whether or not that works.
I can't go off of that because Belichick.
Let's not get bogged down on Garoppolo.
Games.
Hold on. I agree with you about Dak in this case, Ryan, in this sense. Dak doesn't mess up by throwing interceptions. The criticism of him is really, if you look at the play, you look at it and say, well, he left bigger plays on the field. I could deal with that in a quarterback as he gains experience. But my point is, I'd like to keep him. Not at 36 a year. The Stafford contract's killing the Lions.
Here's the truth,
Max.
though. When Zeke missed games, he didn't prove himself. They tried, and it didn't work out. When Zeke came back, they start winning. They got Amari Cooper in the line. And the reality is, you don't fire Scott Linehan if you're not committing to Dak Prescott, saying there was something wrong. They didn't get him out the pocket. They didn't put him in positions where he could be successful.
You got to work out a deal with Dak where he's not the highest paid guy because he's not as good as that.
He's the quarterback.
He doesn't have to be the highest paid guy at the position. No one said that. But he certainly needs to be paid.
The Cowboys have been waiting to give him his new deal, and now you have Carson Wentz getting his new deal, Jared Goff on the verge of getting his new deal, so the numbers are going up, setting a standard. So the Cowboys, their delay
Dak isn't Carson Wentz. Goff, you could say whatever. I agree with you about Goff. Goff in the regular season is elite. When you need him the most, he gets worse. Dak is the opposite, so I like that better.
Max, you can't say that Dak Prescott isn't Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott wins games. Carson Wentz wins. See, this argument about he's not somebody drives me crazy. It really does. If you put Dak Prescott in that same offense in Philadelphia, can he be successful? That's how you have to measure it. If he's in that same offense, can he be successful in an offense? I would say yes, as long as the coaches are putting him in a position to succeed.
Okay, let's stay right there with coaches. When Russell Wilson got his big deal, he was already a Super Bowl champion and had evolved from a game manager big on third down to elite quarterback, right? Dak may take that same course as Russell Wilson and Tom Brady before him, but he hasn't done it
Do you value leadership? Do you know what leadership is?
He hasn't done that yet. So if you pay him that money now, it gets harder, in spite of talent evaluation, to put a winning team around Dak Prescott.
We understand that, but you can't take care of these other guys that not take care of him. His stats are not going to show up. He wins ball games.
And finally, look, Jerry Jones has now isolated all the variables. It comes down to this: quarterback or coach. And what the Cowboys will learn is they have a quarterback. They don't yet have the coach. And that may be why Dak's numbers aren't better than they already are. So once the coach is replaced and Dak proves himself to be truly elite, at that point, I believe he should be paid elite quarterback money, but not before then.
You got to get it.
Since Dak has entered the league, he's a total QBR of 68. That is the 6th best in the NFL. Keyshawn, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I forgive you, Key.
We'll see you soon.
I forgive you.
All right, coming up on First Take, Kawhi Leonard has taken his talents to the L.A. Clippers, but what does his move mean for the rest of the league? That's coming up next on First Take.